51% of the workforce today are women, and we're a part of that. We both worked during our time at DSI.
I'm Catalina, and I was a social worker in workforce development.
And I'm Taylor, and I work for a social enterprise focused on reducing bias in the workplace. We formed our partnership wanting to address this issue: why in 2019 there are still significantly fewer women in leadership positions than men, and we wanted to understand why. So we spoke to over 100 women throughout our process, and a common theme began to emerge. Here's what they were saying.
Having a child has completely changed my career.
Men don't have to have that same calculus. How do I pause from my career?
I don't think I had any time. Mila was born, and then I think 2 weeks, I went back to teaching.
The day that I went back from maternity leave, my first day back, I was a wreck. And having to pump on the first day was really awkward, trying to figure out what conference room to go to.
I think the biggest challenging part was just getting used to daycare. The first month, I kid you not, I think she was sick 12 times. And here I am with my new job and having to leave.
The biggest challenge I have is the feeling that you have to do it all.
I would have this pit in my stomach every night because I wanted to be mom. But then I wanted to make sure I had enough sleep so I could be my employee during the day. And it was just this constant battle.
I think it really does depend on the culture and the company, how flexible they are.
My boss said, you having a kid is going to limit your work here. That's why I was no, I'm definitely leaving.
For all of these women, a pivotal moment in their career was when they had children. And at the same time, at some point, they chose to leave their careers to find a more parent-friendly company. And we realized this was more common than we thought. 43% of women scale back at work or leave their jobs after having a child. And that costs a huge cost for companies. Losing an executive employee costs a company up to 213% of their annual salary. So if a woman makes $100,000 a year, the cost to replace her is $213,000. A clear problem emerged. Workplaces aren't designed to meet the needs of working moms, which affects their opportunities for leadership positions. But within this problem, we found an opportunity. It's not that companies don't want to support working moms, it's that they don't know where to start. Companies like Microsoft and Patagonia are paving the way in parent-friendly practices, but it's often more challenging for companies with fewer resources and a limited budget. So that's when we thought, how can we support companies so that they can better support working parents? And this is what we learned. Working moms need an approachable way to communicate their needs to their employer. It's really uncomfortable having personal conversations with a boss, especially when they have to keep happening over and over. Working moms want companies to consider the needs of all working parents. Single dads, same-sex couples, and really all parents have similar experiences. So that's when we realized that this isn't just a mom's issue, it's a parent issue. And companies need data to make informed decisions on how to better support working parents. Companies are thinking about ROI and their bottom line, and so data is a unique entry point for company buy-in and to make the case for why this matters.
This is where Returnity comes in. Returnity is a data-driven service that includes an evaluation of current policies combined with employee feedback to provide a customized roadmap for building a parent-friendly workplace. So, why data-driven? Data can facilitate these difficult conversations to reduce the burden on working parents and enable change on a larger scale. Why an evaluation of current policies combined with employee feedback? We found that company evaluations such as B-Labs already exist. However, they're only completed by leadership members. And then there's also employee satisfaction surveys, but often the results aren't shared with employees. We felt like what was missing here was something that combined these two perspectives. And finally, why a customized roadmap? Simply providing companies with data doesn't mean that they can take action. By providing customized next steps, small and large companies can do what makes sense for them based on their budget and resources. So, how does it work? First, Returnity partners with a company, and someone from their HR team or leadership team completes the employer profile to evaluate current policies and benefits for working parents. At the same time, working parents complete the employee profile to evaluate their workplace culture and how they actually feel within a company. Once this is complete, we analyze all the data and create a report, and then facilitate a debrief session to discuss our recommendations. Returnity's goal is to open up conversations so that companies take action towards becoming more parent-friendly. To create Returnity, our first step was to define what a parent-friendly workplace looks like. With a group of working parents and HR professionals, we developed these 8 categories, which include things like schedule flexibility, lactation support, and childcare benefits. This laid the foundation for our evaluation. Together, we then created these 2 profiles, which each have 25 questions and are out of 50 points. These were built on a digital platform, and even the language and design were co-created by our community so we could create a corporate solution without a corporate feel. And finally, we designed the 8-page report that visualizes a company's parent-friendliness. This includes their overall score, an analysis of workplace culture, the gap in support, and next steps.
Companies were really excited about Returnity. We piloted with 4 companies and had a total of 51 participants and had a really high completion rate of 92%. The data showed that there was a lot of room for improvement. The 4 company scores ranged between 41 to 59 out of 100, and the top 2 areas for companies to prioritize were inclusivity and childcare and education. A learning that one company didn't expect was that 77% of their employees wanted a network for working parents. That was an easy, low-cost solution that they could quickly implement. And for another company, they scored really low in lactation support, but we realized that was because the majority of them were parents that had older children, and so it made sense. They didn't need that. And so some of their recommendations included focusing on schedule flexibility and child education benefits. But beyond the hard data, Returnity had real outcomes for companies. Initially, we asked companies to test with 10 working parents, but we had an overwhelming response from HR professionals that they wanted all their employees to fill this out. And just by participating in Returnity, working parents said they felt more supported. At the same time, we saw that companies were building awareness of what it means to be parent-friendly, and they were placing higher priority on supporting parents. And sharing this data created conversations between the working parents and HR professionals that they said would not have happened otherwise. And we saw that many companies were actually planning follow-up meetings to implement some of these changes. One company's next step was to take inventory of the lactation spaces across their offices. And seeing companies take action to become more parent-friendly is exactly what we intended for Returnity to do. And we loved what one male HR professional said. I actually think that supporting working parents will make us support all our employees better and strengthen our company in the long run.
But this is just the beginning. Our ultimate goal is for leadership teams to begin to look like this, and we have a lot of ideas for how Returnity could make this happen. As more companies get involved and we have more data, we can start to show how becoming parent-friendly actually increases opportunities for women in leadership. Our hope is that this could start a movement of companies that are leading the way and thinking about the future of work, how families are changing, and how this impacts women. We have so many people to thank for helping us get here. Since neither of us are moms, we are really grateful that we are able to work with an incredible group of working moms who are with us throughout this journey. We're especially thankful to Mari for your support as our thesis advisor and as a mom. And finally, we have to thank our moms for showing us that women can have both a family and a career. None of this would have been possible without you. We want to leave you with this quote from Ruth Bader Ginsburg, where she said, "Women will have achieved true equality when men share with them the responsibility of bringing up the next generation." And we believe Returnity will help us get there. Thank you.